A former dealership GM's confession video got 4.3 million views before lawyers forced him to delete it. He revealed one mistake that cost buyers $6,200 on average. Internal training documents from 3 dealerships confirm 90% of buyers make this mistake in the first 10 minutes, and once they do, the dealer has already won. In the next 14 minutes, you'll learn what that mistake is, why it destroys your negotiating power, and the exact phrase to say instead. Hit subscribe now because dealer training programs are already updating scripts to counter this information. So here's what 90% of buyers do wrong, and it happens in the first conversation, whether that's a phone call, a text, or walking onto the lot. They answer this question. So what are you looking to spend per month? Or the variation, what kind of monthly payment are you comfortable with? Or what's your budget for this purchase? The second you answer that question, you've lost. And here's exactly why. According to leaked sales training materials from a national dealership chain, there's a specific section titled Payment-Based Selling Control Through Budget Discovery. And it states this word for word: once you know the customer's monthly payment threshold, you control the entire negotiation. They've just told you the maximum they'll pay. Your job is to get them there regardless of the actual vehicle cost. Let me show you how this plays out with real numbers. You call about a $32,000 SUV. The salesperson asks what payment you're comfortable with. You say around $500 a month. Here's what just happened in their head. They're doing instant math. $500 monthly payment at 72 months at 7% APR equals roughly $32,000 financed. But here's the trap. They can get you to that same $500 payment by increasing the loan term to 84 months, marking up your interest rate by 2%, lowering your down payment, reducing your trade-in value, adding $4,000 in warranties and fees. You said $500. They're going to give you $500, but the total cost of that vehicle just jumped from $32,000 to $42,000, and you won't realize it until you're reading the contract. By then, you've invested 4 hours, you're emotionally attached to the car, and you'll rationalize signing because it's only $500 a month like I wanted. A former finance manager from Arizona explained it like this in a now deleted forum post: when customers give me their payment number first, I literally smile inside. They just handed me $3,000 to $6,000 in extra profit. I'll hit their payment number exactly while loading the deal with everything I can hide. The psychology, why you want to answer. So here's the thing, you want to answer that payment question. Your brain is telling you to answer it, and there's a specific psychological reason why. It's called social proof of seriousness. When someone asks your budget, your brain interprets it as them qualifying whether you're a real buyer or a time waster. You want to prove you're serious. You want to show you can afford it. You want to be taken seriously, so you answer. Internal training documents actually teach salespeople to exploit this. One script reads, frame the budget question as qualification, not negotiation. Say, just so I know we're looking at vehicles in your range. What monthly payment works for your budget? This removes resistance because they want to prove they're qualified. And it works. A study by automotive sales consultants found that 91% of buyers voluntarily disclose their budget or payment range when asked this way, even when they had previously decided not to share that information. Here's another psychological lever they pull. They make you feel like you're being difficult or uncooperative if you don't answer. I'm just trying to help you. I don't want to waste your time showing you vehicles you can't afford. I need to know your budget so I can find the best options for you. If you're serious about buying, I need to understand your financial situation. All of that is manipulation. They don't need your budget to show you cars. They need your budget to control the negotiation. What happens when you do it right? So here's what happens when you refuse to answer the payment question, and this is where salespeople's entire strategy falls apart. A buyer in Texas shared his experience. He contacted a dealer about a $38,000 truck. First question, what payment are you looking for? His response, I'm not discussing payments yet. What's your best out the door price on this specific vehicle? The salesperson pushed back. Well, I need to know what you're comfortable with so I can structure a deal. He repeated, I'll discuss payments after we agree on the total price. What's your best out the door price? Here's what happened. The salesperson, now unable to use payment manipulation, gave him a price, $39,200 out the door. The buyer countered with $36,500. They settled at $37,200. Then, and only then, did he discuss financing. His credit union had approved him at 5.9%. The dealer offered 7.2%. He walked. 5.9%. The dealer called back an hour later and matched 5.9%. Final financed amount $37,200 at 5.9% for 60 months. Payment $714 per month. But here's the insane part. If he had answered the payment question at the beginning and said around $700, they would have made it work at $700. By financing $42,000 at 8.9% for 72 months. Same payment, $4,800 more in total cost. By refusing to discuss payments first, he saved $4,800. The dealer's counter moves. Now, when you refuse to give your payment number, dealers have 3 trained responses. You need to be ready for all of them. Newest counter move number 1, the guilt trip. I'm just trying to help you. Why are you making this difficult? Your response: I appreciate that. Let's start with the vehicle price, then we'll discuss financing that works for both of us. Counter move number 2, the false scarcity. I have 3 other people interested in this car. If you're not serious, I need to move on. Your response: I understand. If it sells before we finish negotiating, that's fine. What's your best price? This calls their bluff. There aren't 3 other people, and if there are, the price should be firm anyway. Counter move number 3, the qualification wall. I can't even run numbers without knowing your payment range. That's just how our system works. Your response: then I'll get financing from my credit union and come back with a pre-approval. I just need your price. This terrifies them because they lose the ability to mark up your rate. Most will suddenly find a way to give you a price. The exact script to use. So here's your exact script for the first conversation, whether it's phone, text, or in person. Memorize this. When they ask about monthly payment, I'm not focused on monthly payments yet. I want to understand the total cost first. What's your best out the door price for specific vehicle? If they push. Once we agree on the total price, we can discuss financing options. What's your out the door price? If they refuse to give a price. If you can't give me a price without knowing my payment range, I'll need to shop with dealerships that can. Thanks for your time. Then leave or hang up. Here's what happens next. About 60% of the time, they'll stop you and give you a price. The other 40%, they'll let you leave because they know they can't maximize profit on you. That's fine. Those are the dealers you don't want to work with anyway. The 3 other questions you should never answer, but the payment question isn't the only trap. There are 3 other questions that destroy your negotiating power if you answer them too early. Question number 2, are you trading in a vehicle? Why it's a trap. If you say yes, they'll lowball your trade and inflate the new car price, then shuffle numbers between both to confuse you. What to say instead? I'll decide about my trade after we agree on your vehicle's price. Question number 3, how soon are you looking to buy? Why it's a trap. If you say today or this week, they know you're a hot buyer and they don't need to discount aggressively. What to say instead? I'm comparing options at several dealerships and I'll buy when I find the right deal. Nut. Question number 4, have you been to other dealerships? Why it's a trap. If you say no, they know they're your first stop and they'll anchor high. If you say yes and reveal who, they'll call those dealers to find out what you were offered. What to say instead? I'm talking to multiple dealers about the same vehicle. Notice the pattern? You're staying vague on everything except the one thing that matters, the price of their specific vehicle. The one exception to the rule. Now, there's one scenario where discussing monthly payments first makes sense, and this is important. If you're leasing, not buying, leases are structured around monthly payments by design, and the dealer needs to know your mileage needs and term length to quote accurately. In that case, payment discussion is appropriate, but even then, you should know the money factor, lease interest rate, and residual value they're using because those can be manipulated just like purchase financing. For purchases, never discuss payments first, ever. What the training manuals don't want you to know. So here's what leaked training documents reveal about buyers who refuse to discuss payments. There's actually a flagging system. In one manual, it states, if a customer consistently redirects to out-the-door pricing and refuses to discuss payments, flag them as educated buyer. Do not attempt standard payment packing or rate markup. These customers will walk and they will report you. Give them clean numbers. That's right. When you demonstrate that you understand the game, they switch to a different playbook. They know they can't run the usual scams because you'll catch them. A salesperson in Florida confirmed this. We call them forum buyers because they clearly researched online. With those people, we make our profit on volume, not margin. We give them a fair deal and move on. It's the uninformed buyers where we make the real money. The $6,100 question. Remember at the beginning, I said this one mistake cost buyers $6,200 on average. Here's where that number comes from. Industry data shows that buyers who discuss monthly payments before total price pay $2,800 more in rate markup, $2,200 more in extended terms, paying interest longer, $1,400 more in fees and add-ons, $800 more in inflated vehicle price, total $6,200 on average. All because they answered one question: what payment are you looking for? Your action plan. Here's exactly what you do on your next car purchase. Step 1. Get pre-approved financing from your credit union before contacting any dealer. Know your rate and terms. Step 2. Research the fair market value of the specific vehicle you want. Use TrueCar, Edmunds, and KBB. Step 3. Contact multiple dealers, at least 3, and ask for out-the-door pricing via email or text. Don't mention trade-ins, don't mention payments. Step 4. When they ask about payments, use the script, "I'm not discussing payments yet. What's your best out-the-door price?" Step 5. Negotiate the vehicle price only. Get it in writing. Step 6. Then and only then discuss your trade-ins separately. Step 7. Compare dealer financing to your pre-approval. Take whichever is better. Step 8. Review every line of the contract before signing. Remove anything you didn't explicitly agree to. That's it. You'll save thousands. The process takes longer, but each extra hour you spend negotiating saves you roughly $100 to $200. Why this works? This works because you're breaking their system at its foundation. Dealerships have a profit playbook that's been refined over 40 years, and it's entirely built on payment-based selling. When you refuse to engage with that system, they have to negotiate on price, which is transparent and competitive. A dealer principal from a large dealership group admitted in a now-deleted podcast, "Our entire F&I structure is designed around monthly payment acceptance. When a buyer forces us to negotiate total price, our back-end profit drops by 60-70%. We'll still sell the car because we need volume, but the margin is thin. That's what you want. Thin margin for them, maximum value for you. But here's what makes this strategy even more powerful. When you force price-based negotiation, you're also dismantling 3 other profit centers simultaneously. You states. First, you eliminate rate markup opportunities. When dealers don't know your payment tolerance, they can't hide interest rate manipulation. If you're negotiating a $35,000 price and then shop for financing separately, they can't secretly bump you from 6.5% to 8.9% without you noticing. The rate becomes a separate, transparent discussion. Second, you expose the extended term trap. Payment-focused buyers get pushed into 72, 84, even 96-month loans without realizing it. We can get you to $450 a month. Sounds great until you realize you're paying interest for 8 years on a car that'll be worthless in 5. When you negotiate price first, loan term becomes your choice, not their profit lever. Third, you block the trade-in shell game. Dealers love to juggle trade-in value and new car price simultaneously. Give you $2,000 more on your trade while adding $3,500 to the new car price. When you separate these negotiations, that trick disappears. They can't steal from one bucket to make another look generous. The numbers prove this works. Data from automotive consumer advocates shows that buyers who negotiate price before payments save an average of $5,800 per transaction. That's not a small difference. That's a family vacation. That's 6 months of car payments. That's real money staying in your pocket instead of dealer profit. And here's something most buyers don't realize. Dealerships actually have 2 pricing tiers in their system. There's the payment buyer price and the educated buyer price. Internal dealer management systems literally flag customers based on how they negotiate. Payment buyers get loaded with maximum profit. Price-focused buyers get cleaner deals because dealers know they can't hide the markup. A former sales manager from a dealership in Ohio explained it like this. We had a code system. P-buyer meant payment-focused, which meant we could pack the deal. E-buyer meant educated, which meant give them a competitive price and move on quickly. The difference in our profit between those 2 customer types was often $4,000 to $7,000 on the same vehicle. You want to be flagged as an e-buyer. You want them to know you understand the game, because when they know you know, they stop playing games.